Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Asa here. Making this video today because I want to cover a topic that is pretty important and I've been pretty active in dealing with over the last 3 years. And what that is the size conversion changes for PowerSlide products back in 2016. Um, for those who aren't aware, what I talk about when I say size conversion and power, well, I'll talk about that after. PowerSlide. Anytime I say PowerSlide, I'm talking about um, PowerSlide is a conglomerate umbrella company that distributes and handles a variety of brands. Primarily within the um, aggressive market, which is Conference. That's a smaller umbrella within PowerSlide. They handle pretty much the aggressive market. But you have USD Shadow, Undercover, Kaiser, Wicked, Enwy. There's MyFit. There's going to be some other brands that in different markets that I'm probably missing, like the rec and the speed skating markets. But anything under the Conference, the size changing is going to affect. Um, so when I say conversion, size conversion, what I'm talking about is any international footwear distribution company, whether it's sneakers or Nike, Puma, Adidas, Rollerblade, USD, Saba, um, ski, snowboard apparel, any kind of large international distribution company, primarily West. We'll just deal with the Western market. Will size things on a spectrum, and that is EU sizing spectrum. That's then converted to either US or UK market. That's based on a base measurement. So you'll take a product, you'll measure it, you have a centimeter. From that, it's put on the size spectrum for an EU size. From that, it is then converted to a US or UK size. And like any kind of conversion, you've got some interpretation, and with that, information can be lost in translation. So there's going to be some inconsistency sometimes with the sizing. You'll see that in this chart here, as well as various size charts online. If you look up, shoe size UK to US or EU to UK, you can look up 10 different websites, and they're all going to be pretty consistent, but there's going to be a little bit of discrepancy based on what France thinks the EU42 should be versus what Canada thinks an EU42 should be. It's within, the difference would be an 8.5 versus a 9, right? Or maybe even like a 9.5. But it's relatively within a spectrum. That's not what's happened with this. What's happened with this was USD one day decided to just change what they were calling different shells. And I'll break that down here, and then I'll give you some examples of where things were and why they are the way they are. I can't tell you why they changed it this way. I have no fucking idea. I've actually reached out to some friends and colleagues that I've known who have or still do operate within the conference on various levels, and they don't know either. So um, just cause, fuck it. And the reason I care about this subject is because it's really fucking some people over, a lot of people actually. And it's not the fault of shops. It's not the fault of independent sellers who are trading the different blade trade markets. This is 100% a ball drop on the part of PowerSlide. They fucked this up, and it's frustrating because I'm a big proponent of USD. Most of my skates are USD, but they really screwed the pooch on this, and so I'm just doing my part to kind of get this information out. When I chime in on people's posts, it's not me being a dick trying to fuck with your post or mess up your sale. It's quite the opposite. I'm trying to ensure that one, you're selling the product that you say you are, even though you are simply just you're not doing it intentionally. It's not you. But if I order something from some dude I've never met before, I give him $60 for something that I'm expecting to fit like all my other shit, and then I get something and it's way too big. I'm like, yo, you sent me the wrong size. And no, you asked for a 9. It says 9 on the tag. Well, unfortunately, that's not the case. It's not a 9. It ends up being an actual 10. And that's really what the point of this is you can call things whatever you want, but the fact of the matter is when you go to the core of how they size things, um, that's what it is. You know, currently right now, a USD 9 is an actual 10. It says it's a 9. That's great. You can call it a blueberry muffin if you fucking want to. It's a 10. So I'm gonna lay that out here, and I just kind of want to give people a little perspective as to my interest in this topic. So for any of the UK guys that are watching this, anytime I say a number regarding a shoe size or a skate size, just bump it down to 1. I don't want to convert everything to US and UK. This video will take forever, otherwise it'll be extra confusing as well, because there's already a shit ton of numbers flying around. So let's get into this. So USD operates on 4 shell sizes, okay? Or they used to. They still do. The shell sizes have not changed. Small, medium, large, extra large. Pretty straightforward. Each shell is attributed to a spectrum. So it will essentially, it's a dual fit shell. Back in the day, skates were made individually. Some still do, like carbon platforms. But to save costs, essentially you'll make a shell that can accommodate 2 foot sizes. Almost every skate company does this now. It's really the only cost-effective way to be able to produce skates. So you have a small, a medium, a large, and extra large. The small will accommodate a 3940. Now I've got 3 numbers here because on like the USD 7 and some shells you might see 3840 or 45 to 47. It's a roomier shell, the USD 7. So I think they just decided, hey, fuck it, we can probably squeeze 3 sizes into these shells. But generally, you're going to run into things like the Sway, the Aeons, you know, old classic Thrones, things like that. They're all going to operate like this 3940. So 3940 is a 6.7. Okay. The 4142 is an 8.9. The 4344, following the spectrum, would be a 10.11. But this was a point of contention back in the day too. The tags and the shells would say 10, 10.5. Or not because the shells would just say 43, 44. But they would size that as a 10, 10.5. Following the logical progression of numbers, 44 would be an 11. But again, it's translated. So a friend of mine growing up, his parents were from like Germany or Austria, but he always bought based on this, so 44. And all of his sneakers or trainers for the UK guys were 11s, right? But he would buy, I remember he got his Cyruses in a 10.5. I'm like, that's weird. And that was another thing is none of the skates had half size. A lot of skates back then didn't have half sizes except for this one shell. So you'd have a 10, 10.5. Well, all right, what if I need an 11? You'd end up getting a shell size that was way too fucking big. So this was commonly known back in the day. Everybody knew this. So if you were an 11, you got the 10.5. Otherwise, you were in these massive shells because, yeah, this is a spectrum, but realistically, you could ignore the left side of this when you're talking about a shell. This just is your liner. But if you're an 8 or an EU41 and you order 8s, you're getting a 9 shell with an 8 liner. Now this was easy fixable back in the day too. You would just take, you know, an old sneaker footbed and you'd stick that into the shell and put your liner on top of it, and that would fill the shell out a little bit. You know, make that difference so it would fit better. But that's not what's happening here. It's actually much worse. So they took this issue here, which was because of the half size, that bumped this up to an 11-12. When realistically it was a 12-13. So if you order an 11, you get these massive fucking boats. And I actually fell victim to this when I first came back to skating. I thought I was about like a 10 or 10.5, and back in the day you'd order skates a little bigger. So I ordered, I think I ordered like a 10.5, and it was like an old Shima or an old SSM shell, but they were massive regardless. I'm an EU42-9. I ended up in an 11 shell. It was a joke. So with the new shell sizing, nothing has changed except what they call the shells. So the small is still 3940. That accommodates what they say on the box is a 6.7. The medium is still a 4142. The large is still a 4344. And the extra large is still a 4546. But the medium they now call a 7.5, 8. So they took this goofy half size bullshit and they moved it over to the medium shell. This now affects the 2 most popular shells in their brand. Can't even argue that. The medium and large arguably the medium is the most popular size shell. And this is why it's become a bigger problem over the last like year and a half, 2 years, is because people were really, the Aeons rolled out like this. First, it was the USD 7. Got a lot of bad rap because, you know, I advocated for this skate big time. People got skates based on my record. You know, I talked to them about it. Like, you know, these are great. They tried them on. They got them. Like, how do you like them? They're all right. They're just huge. What do you mean they're huge? You probably got the wrong size. No, I ordered a 9. I tried yours on. They fit great. I ordered a 9. They're massive. I look at his shell, 43, 44. It's not a 9, dog. It's a fucking 10, 11. It's too big. So that problem has consistently been an issue with the newer brands, the new Sways, or, you know, when they rolled out the Sways. I'm a 9, EU42. I had to order my Montre Sways in an 8 or a UK 7. The Aeons, when they rolled those out, using the same thing. When I moved over here to the UK, I bought a pair of skates because all mine got packed up. I ordered from the kids size 7, UK 7 or US 8. I ordered them because that's what the 42 was. If I was like, yo, let me get anybody got UK 8s, I'd end up with these 43, 44s, which are 10, 11. So this happens with the medium shell as well as the large shell. If you are a 43, 44, which is traditionally a 10, 11, and you order an 11, what they're going to do, you know, call Roller Warehouse, let me get the 2019 Aeon. Sure, what size? 11. Cool. They send you the box that says 11, which is a fucking 46 shell, and you're a 44. Worse, say you're 17 years old and you're still growing, you're a 10 and a half, 43 and a half. You want to give yourself a little extra room. Yo, let me get I'm a 10, 10 and a half in my sneakers, but I want to give myself some growing room. All right, cool. Send you an 11. So some 17-year-old kid who just busts his ass over the summer to buy brand new skates, he's a 43 and a half, and he just got sent 46 shells. And he's fucked because, like, you get brand new skates, everything feels amazing right out the box. You're stoked, you put it on, this feels great. You're excited, you're juiced, you just got brand new skates, you go out and skate. And you don't realize they're too big until it's too late. It's like a month later. Everything, the foams have warmed up and kind of broken in the shell. You notice they're really loose. You keep trying to tighten it. Now you're on the last notch of the buckle. Can't tighten it anymore. The laces, you're fucking raking on them. Because your skates are 2 shell sizes too big. Because USD just decided to change what the different shells identify as. You can call this a 9-10 all fucking day. You can call it pumpkin bread if you want. But a 43-44 is a 10-11. Period. So just to give you a little context, I've got a bunch of shell liners and shit here. So USD Phoenix liner is probably circa 2012 maybe, right? EU42, US 9. Jug Black Sock 3, 9, EU42. Well, those are just like older liners, right? 2017 Rollerblade Blank Liner. This is a half size, but it follows the same spectrum. 42 and a half is a 9 and a half, right? Saba FR Liner. Let's get this in there. Sun's coming in now. UK 8, USA 9, EU 42. Okay? So where things changed. I don't have any fat boys right now. Well, I have one, but you can't read the tag. It's the MyFit Recall Liner. Okay? This is a dual fit liner. It's a 41-42, which is traditionally 8-9, right? Look up Zappos. 7.5, 8, EU 41-42. No, it's 8-9, bro. Further inconsistencies. Crown liner, they decided to do 42-43. They've never done that with anything. There it is. 42-43, they're saying is an 8-9. No, that's a 9-10. I mean, here's my fucking house shoe. It's a Sketcher. 41 and a half, 8 and a half. They did this with carbon as well. So here's 2016 carbon, EU42, 9. So hopefully I was able to help break that down. And if you all have any questions, please hit me up. Otherwise, be Be easy. Stay safe.